Hi everyone, this is TOC number 3 for Unit 3. By the end of these notes, you'll be able to say, I can understand and solve problems using function notation. So our essential question is, how do I solve problems? And let's say that use function notation. Alrighty, so you've been learning about functions, and today we're going to be doing a little bit more math than the last two notes that you've done, because we're going to have situations in which we're given an x value and we need to find the value of the function and vice versa. So given a function and need to find the x value. This may sound a little confusing. It probably is new to you, but that's okay. All right, so function notation looks like this. I might write it a little bit bigger so that you can see it. It is pronounced f of x, not f times x, even though it looks like that because of the parentheses. It means the value of f, which represents function, the value of the function at x. A way that you may be familiar with writing this is y equals, but now we're transitioning to writing f of x. So f of x equals. They mean the same thing, however, when using function notation, we want you to use the new way of writing it. When writing an ordered pair, you typically have your x, comma, your y in parentheses, and we can also write this as x, comma, f of x, because that f of x is representing the. Alright, so let's go ahead and try it out. With these next two examples, we are given an x value and we need to find the value of the function with that x value. There are two different ways you may see this written, so I just put a 1 next to the first way and the second way. You will probably see the first way that this is written the most in this class. However, there are multiple ways in which you could write it. So this is asking us to find f of 2 if f of x equals 3x plus 2. So I'm going to use red and I'm going to circle my rule. And what this 2 is telling us to do is to substitute it in for x into our rule. Okay, so I'm going to show my work over to the right in blue. So f of 2 equals 3, and then I'm going to plug in 2 for x. 2 plus 2. Now we solve the order of operations. Keep writing the left side down. You don't need to change anything with that. So we're going to do 3 times 2, 6. And then f of 2 equals 8. Okay, so this is telling me my y value because we already know what the x value is. The x value is 2. So when we're filling out our ordered pairs, we're going to write 2 for our x and 8 for our y. We can go ahead and circle this because this is our answer. For number 2, our rule is right here. F of x equals 3x plus 2, same thing. And this time we're going to find 6. So we're going to plug in 6. So we have f of 6 equals 3 times 6 plus 2. We still follow our order of operations. You don't need to change anything with the left-hand side. 3 times 6 gives me 18. So f of 6 is 20. So that is my answer, but I need to fill in my ordered pairs. What is in the parentheses next to the f is my x value, and then what we get on the right-hand side of the equal sign is our y value. All right, so these next two problems are going to be different from the two we previously did. In these ones, we are given a function and we need to find the x value. So we're still given our rule. Our rule is the same, but this time we're given what f of x equals. So we're going to plug that. We're going to plug that 26 in over here and then solve for x. Sounds a little bit confusing, but you've solved equations like this before, so you can do it. So let's go ahead and plug in the 26 because that's what f of x equals, and then write our rule. So then we need to get rid of our constant, which is on the right hand side, the side of the variable. And so now we have 24 equals 3x. And then we need to divide by 3, divide by 3. When we do that, we get x equals 8. Okay, so our input, when our input is 8, our output is 26 when we use this rule that I've circled in red. So we need to make sure that we write, I'm going to go ahead and circle that x equals 8, and then we need to write, fill in our ordered pairs. So when x is 8, y is 26. We're going to do the same thing with this next one so that you can get a little bit more practice with that. In this example, again, we get the rule, and then we get what we get our y, what the function equals. So we're solving for x, so we need to plug that negative 10 into the left-hand side and then write the rule. And again, we're going to subtract our constant. Then we get negative 12 equals 3x. When we divide by 3, we get x equals negative 4. So go ahead and circle that. So this is, x is our input, the negative 10 is our output, our y. So when x is negative 4, y is negative 10 with this function. For these next few questions, we're going to use the function on the graph to help us answer the questions. So first, let's look at number 5. 5 says, f of 4 equals what? So this 4 is our x value, so it's asking what would the y value be when x is 4. Just another reminder that our x-axis goes from left to right, and our y-axis goes from north to south, from up to down. So when we are on our x-axis and we're at 4, if we go up, we see that we run into our function, and I can put a little point right there. I'm going to put a red point right there. And then if I move over to the left to my y-axis, I see that y is at 3. So with this function, with this line, when I am at 4 for my x, then I am at 3 for my y. So in this case, f of 4 equals 3, and if I was to write my ordered pairs, then I would write 4, 3. For this next one, we're going to find f of 0 from the function on the graph. So we're looking at when x equals 0, which is right here. And then we're going to look for the line. We're going to look to see if it's up or if it's down. We need to move down to get to it. And we go ahead and we hit it, and we hit it at negative 3. So f of 0 equals negative 3 when x equals 0, y equals negative 3. All right, for these next two, we are given the y value, and we are figuring out what the x value is for this function. So let's go ahead and look at the graph. So we are looking at when y equals positive 3, I'm going to use yellow. So let's look at our y-axis. Positive 3 is right here. Now I need to move either left or right according to my function. It looks like my function is over to the right. So I'm going to move to the right, and in yellow, I'm going to circle that point on the line, and it looks like x is 4, positive 4. So we're solving similarly to how we did for the first one, because for number 5, because we're using that same point. It's just a different way to look at it. So another way that we can write this is f of 4 equals 3. Now let's try this next one. I'm going to use green for it. And this is asking us f of x equals 0. What is the value for x? And so we need to look at our y-axis. And so when y equals 0, and this time it's asking us what is our x value. So in this case, we need to move, again, either to the left or the right, not up or down, moving to the left or to the right because it gives us our y. We're looking for our x, and our x-axis goes from left to right. And so it looks like the function is over here to the right at positive 2. So when x equals 2, y equals 0, and so we can go ahead and fill in f of 2 equals 0. You should be referring to the graph on the previous page for these next two questions. Because of the app that I'm using, I cannot go back and continue recording, but ideally you would be referring to the graph. So number 9 is asking us what is f of 4 plus 7. So in question number 5, we solved for f of 4 and we got 3. Okay, so this question is telling us to take the answer from number 5, which is 3, and do 3 plus 7, because it's telling us to add 7. And when we do that, our answer is 10. That's it. We're done. For this next one, we are solving f of 4 plus f of 0. And in question number 5, we found f of 4. And in question number 6, we found f of 0. So we found that f of 4 is equal to 3. And then f of 0 is equal to negative 3. And so positive 3 plus negative 3 gives me 0 as my answer. Okay, thank you for watching these notes. If you have any questions, you can reach out to your teacher. I hope you enjoy a wonderful rest of your day.